All right, welcome everyone to Mentor Moments. This podcast is hosted by Maryville University's Rehabilitation Counseling students and the Missouri Rehab Association Eastern Chapter. I am Dr. Michael Keener, one of the hosts, here with Brayton Wooters, one of our current students. Brayton?
How's it going? My name is Brayton Wooters. I am one of our students here in our program. Really, the vision and the goal behind this podcast is to allow students and those in the profession of rehabilitation counseling or counseling in general, just to get a better idea of what the field looks like, what the profession looks like out in the real world, and also just to get advice from those who have been in the field, that have been doing this career for a while, and just learn more.
We look forward to interacting with you on a fairly regular basis, so please keep tuning in.
It takes folks working together for a common cause, trying to address all of their needs as a team. And that was one of the greatest things that I did.
On this episode of Mentor Moments, we have Tim Gaines with us. Tim is a certified rehabilitation counselor in Missouri.
Tim is also the Assistant Commissioner for the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Office of Adult Learning and Rehabilitation Services. It's our pleasure to have Tim as our guest.
All right, so Tim, thank you again for joining us here on Mentor Moments. Could you just give the listeners a little short bio of your career, where you've been, what you've done, and what you're doing now?
I'd be happy to, Brayton. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Tim Gaines, and I've been with Missouri Vocational Rehabilitation for a long time, almost 38 years. And during that period of time, I've held a variety of different positions in the agency. Vocational Rehabilitation Counselor in St. Louis, and VR Counselor in Springfield, and also Jefferson City, Missouri. And before that, or after that rather, I was a research and training supervisor and also director of our HR unit and coordinator of consumer affairs, and also the legal liaison with our agency and also the Attorney General's office. So I got my bachelor's degree at Central Missouri State University, or shall we say University of Central Missouri. I got my master's degree in rehabilitation counseling from the University of Missouri-Columbia. I'm a CRC and also a governor-appointed member of the State Workforce Development Board. So that's a little bit about me, Brayton.
Gotcha. You mentioned research. What kind of research were you guys going over?
Well, that was a long time ago, Brayton, but we did research in a number of areas. We did research in learning disabilities. We did research with individuals with autism and individuals with mental health, with mental illness, and also chemical dependency at that time.
Tim, I've known you now for a few years, and part of this podcast is to introduce new people to the wonderful career of rehabilitation counseling. And I think I'd like to have people sort of share something about them. So what is something maybe that people don't know about you that you would like to share, but that also helps you in your job?
Okay, well, thank you, Mike. I guess a little bit about me that not everybody may not know about me is I do play the guitar, and I've been playing the guitar for a long time, and I also frequently perform a solo guitar around the Jeff City area and also the Lake of the Ozarks area. My family and I spend a lot of time down at the lake, fishing and swimming and outdoor activities. I have 4 absolutely gorgeous granddaughters, ages 2, 3, 5, and 8. And I believe your question was something that helps me with my job. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, that's correct. Like I just think even just the creativeness of loving music, does how does that sort of influence or shape your work?
Well, it is certainly music is something that I find very therapeutic and very meaningful, and I do spend a lot of time working on songs and new songs, and I enjoy performing for people and making them happy and helping them enjoy the setting. So that's always good.
I could see how that would be almost a form of self care for you. It's rare. It's almost rare now that I meet somebody in this field and they're not somehow involved in music in some way, shape, or form. That's one pattern that I've constantly been seeing so far.
Absolutely. Well, there's when I'm not at work, I'm usually either with my family or I'm enjoying music or playing music or something to do with music. So yeah, it's a big part of my life.
Yeah. So could you tell our listeners just a few of the great things about working for Missouri VR?
Absolutely, Brayton. At the very top of the list, without even hesitation, I think the thing that I think is the great thing about working for me at VR is the amazing culture that we have here at VR. A culture that's based upon the strong values that we have of respect, integrity, trust, and inclusion. And everybody's got a voice, and everybody's got a seat at the table at Missouri VR. And that is absolutely the thing that I think is the greatest thing about our agency. We also have a very, very powerful and impactful mission and vision, and an agency full of dedicated and positive, strong leaders in our agency. So those are some of the things that I find that are really great things about working for Missouri VR is the people that we have and the culture that we have.
Tim, I'd have to echo that 100%. Some of the trainings that you allow me to do with the staff, and whenever we're talking about mission or vision or guiding principles, it's without hesitation that most of the counselors are, rattling off that their vision and again their passion they have for helping people with disabilities to find employment and more importantly help them live with greater independence and full inclusion in our world here.
Absolutely.
So our next follow-up question then is, this is your time to sort of promote and shine and be, what are those things that you're most proud of regarding Missouri VR?
Well, gosh, Mike, how much time do we have? Is it like 3 or 4 hours here on this podcast?
We can do multiple episodes here, so the floor is yours.
Yeah, well, I could talk for a long time about that, but I'll try to be succinct. But no, as I said earlier, the thing that I'm most proud of is our culture, and but no doubt about it, right there with the cultures, I'm most proud of the incredible and dedicated team members that we have here at Missouri VR. They are just so committed to working with individuals with disabilities and improving their lives, and we just have a wonderful crew, and I'm very, very proud of them. And also the achievements that they've accomplished, especially over the past 20 months or so during this pandemic. The uninterrupted and innovative and remote services that we provided for folks with disabilities during the pandemic and supporting each other while we all worked remotely. It was just amazing to me. And all the while we were doing that, we were exceeding the national standards in all of our performance area, all of our federal performance areas and standards, and just really doing a remarkable job working with individuals and providing them meaningful services. No doubt about it, and I'm a broken record, and I admit to being a broken record, Mike and Braden, but I'm proud that Missouri I think it's the very best VR agency in the nation. Of course, I'm biased, of course, but there's no question in my mind that we're the best. We get calls all the time from other VR agencies around the country, from technical assistance centers around the country, asking us how are we doing what we're doing in so many of the areas that we're working with. They want to hear about the Missouri model in so many areas, as I said, of pre-employment transition services for students with disabilities, IPS services, and we're expanding those services all over the state. That's individual placement and support services for individuals with persistent and severe mental illness. Peer mentoring services is another area that we're expanding all over the state. And we're focusing on those students and youth in foster care programs and youth and juvenile service programs. Oftentimes, these are the students that are falling through the cracks, and we've got to reach those students. So we're developing peer mentoring services and really excited about those services. Customized employment, reentry and employment services for justice-involved individuals in our great partnership with the Department of Corrections. And then also some of the things that we're doing internally with our own staff and our leadership development programs. We've got a really amazing emerging leadership program that we're working with. And then Mike, your work with our Leadership Academy is also a national recognized model. So we're doing some wonderful things here in Missouri, and I give all the credit to our dedicated team members and their passion to improve and work with individuals with disabilities to improve their lives. So that's my succinct version, and I could go on, but those are some of the few things that I'm really proud of.
Well, I appreciate you sharing those with us. And, I know one of the things that you also highlight is sort of professional development and training. And one of those things is really encouraging all the counselors to, attend the Missouri Rehab Association annual conference. So I guess, can you speak to a little bit why you support the Missouri Rehab Association?
Absolutely. The Missouri Rehab Association and Missouri Vocational Rehabilitation have a very, very long and rich history. I know when I came on many years ago in VR, one of the first things I did is went to an MRA conference, and it was in St. Louis, and it was it was a career-changing experience for me. I met so many people in the MRA organization, and really expanded my horizons and learned from others, and it was a great experience. But MRA provides it's a network of dedicated professionals that all have a common goal, and we're all working towards the same goal of in whatever we're doing, whether we're in VR or whether we work for a community rehabilitation program, or whether we are a proprietary school or other programs. We're all have the same goal of improving lives with people with disabilities, and that's what I love so much about MRA. And Missouri VR really supports what MRA stands for, their mission and vision. And it's one of the longest serving and one of the strongest advocacy organizations for persons with disabilities, and providing professional development opportunities, advocacy, research, and most importantly, just networking and learning from each other is such a valuable partnership that we have with MRA.
You should become a paid sponsor of MRA. That was pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to send that clip to the National Rehab Association home office. That was awesome.
Well, we truly believe in MRA, and the statewide conference that we have this year, I've been to a lot of conferences, MRA conferences, but I do think this one that we just had was one of the very best ones that I've ever been to. And it was very, very well done and impactful.
Yeah, I believe it was one of the highest attending ones, or maybe the most or largest one, at least in the last X number of years. And I know, I like to attend because to me it's a built-in alumni association for all our students. So I get
Exactly.
to come
Right.
back and smile and handshake and hug and all that kind of good stuff with all our great former students.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. And uh, just to see people that I haven't seen, for a while, and see what they're doing and learn from them, and all those great breakout sessions were excellent.
Yeah. So Tim, this is Mentor Moments, and so we would just like to kind of open up the floor for you and kind of hand over the mic and uh, allow you to just give our listeners your mentor tip.
Well, very good. It's kind of hard to narrow it down with just a tip, but you know, I guess if I'm allowed to maybe add an S to the end of the tip,
Absolutely.
maybe a couple of tips. But one of the things that I wanted to mention today is it's important to understand that we as rehabilitation professionals cannot do this alone. We have to work together. We have to build those strong partnerships and forge those great working relationships with others in the field. I remember many years ago, when I was a VR counselor, and by the way, that was my absolute favorite job that I've ever had, working with individuals. And VR counselor was a great job. But when I did that, I had so many people that I worked with. I forged those relationships with high schools. I worked with mental health centers. I had community rehabilitation program people that I worked with, probation and parole, family services, job centers, employers, and also faith-based organizations. I was working with some churches back then for common referrals and working with folks, and Senate Bill 40s and HDC programs. And so I just want you to know that it takes a team, it takes a village, it takes folks working together for a common cause in all aspects of the person's life, of the consumers common consumers that we're working with, trying to address all of their needs as a team. And that was one of the greatest things that I did as a VR counselor. So my tip is, don't try to do this alone, and work with your other folks, and it's a great way to provide services as you're working together. And the second thing that I just want to mention is, as rehabilitation professionals and counselors, we have a tendency to put others first, and that's good. Putting others first is what we should do. But what we don't get done as much as we should is to look at our own needs and take care of ourselves and our family requirements, and really take time and recharge, and take time to rest, and take time to reflect and evaluate your priorities. You should do that every week. I try to do that every week. Sometimes I don't get it done, and then also don't bring your work home with you. Try not to do that, and that's hard to do. But in Missouri VR, we have a motto, and it's family comes first. Family is first thing. It's the most important thing. And so you got to take care of yourself, and you got to take care of your family, because when you work with individuals with disabilities and we're working together, you got to be on your A game. And when you're not, when you're tired, you're worn out, you're distracted, burned out, stressed, you're not going to be at your best to give to your consumers. So that's just a tip I would say is really take time and be kind to yourself and recharge. So those are a couple of tips, and thanks for letting me have more than one just tip today.
Yeah. Again, the floor is yours. More the better. Tim, every time we're together, I just get so energized from your presence, your being, your expertise, your experience, and I hope that came through to our listeners. Will get a sense of that. It's an honor that you'd want to be on Mentor Moments, and we're excited to share this episode with the rest of the world.
Well, I feel the same. I feel like it's an honor for you to ask me to be on the program and maybe to share a few things with you today. And I want to thank you, Maryville University, and Brayton and Mike and all the team there at Maryville, and also the Missouri Rehabilitation Association, and especially the Eastern chapter there in St. Louis area, for letting me come on and talk to you for a little bit today. So it's my honor.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Mentor Moments, hosted by the Maryville University Rehabilitation Counseling Student Organization and the Missouri Rehab Association Eastern Chapter, also affectionately known as Mercs and Mar, like cookies and cream, Mercs and Mar.
If you want to learn more about our program here at Maryville University or just rehabilitation counseling in general, we want to encourage you guys to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram at rehab_Maryville, on Twitter at Maryville Rehab, or on Facebook at Maryville Rehab Counseling. If you want to learn more about the Missouri Rehabilitation Association Eastern Chapter, you can log in online on mraeasternchapter.com to get more info. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
All right. See you then.